Hiya, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
You want to go do a podcast?
Sure.
Jump in.
Ladies and gentlemen, mini dolls and technics, minifigures of all ages, and everyone else, welcome to Binging Barbie. I'm your host, John, and with me I have my co-host, Jacob. You don't have to bow.
You're right. Bowing is for royalty, and you're more like a god.
You know it, girl. Anyway, this is a podcast about toy media franchises, 2000s nostalgia, and whatever else we want to talk about. And this week we are beginning our series on the theatrically released Lego movies by talking about Lego: The Adventures of Clutch Powers. And joining us is a special guest who left the spaceship unlocked.
That would be me, but Jay's the one who left the keys in the ignition.
Why I oughta. Anyway.
Yeah, I do think we do need to quickly address why are we doing Clutch Powers, because that's technically not a theatrically released Lego movie. But I felt like it kind of fits more with this than with the straight to DVD stuff, because that's more like the Star Wars or Marvel stuff, whereas this does feel kind of unique in that
Plus,
sense.
it's like 80-ish minutes, so
Yeah.
it does reach the time length where normally all the other ones reach about 40 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, which is technically feature length, but yeah, this is
Yeah.
closer to a standard animated feature. But yeah, but before we go in, I think part of the reason we're doing this one first is also because we don't have a ton to talk about the movie itself, so that gives us time at the top here to talk about our Lego history. John, what is your history with Lego?
So really my history with Lego began with Bionicle. Bionicle was the first piece of Lego stuff, and I didn't get an official Lego set until some missionary family came and visited, and sometimes they give you gifts if you have children. So I got like this small set of like Lego Mars mission. So I had like
yes.
the very tiny spaceship with an astronaut and I think like an alien villain, and that was my first like set. And then I was very much into Star Wars, Clone Wars, and so I got like a bunch of those sets, and that was pretty much what I got. Once I was like in high school, moved down to you guys. I was less of a collector. Um, I have a bunch of like random parts that are just not built, so it's just chaos. Um, but yeah, I enjoyed Lego a lot for the time, but right now it's just takes so much clutter. If I want ever to get like a Lego set, it's like something very special or important that I want. So yeah.
Yeah, Emma, how about you?
I'm guessing I started with Duplo.
Yeah, I believe we had Duplo
we
first.
had Duplo. Those were pretty fun, and then we got Legos later on. And for a while, like every birthday and Christmas gift would be a new Lego set. So that was a lot of fun. But then, was it middle school or high school? I sold basically all my sets.
Yeah, because well, to go back to the thing John was saying about people bringing Lego down, like, yeah, growing up outside of the U.S. and you would have people visiting, and the thing my parents always said is if you're going to bring gifts, bring something that is small and durable, and so
And
Lego was just kind
neutral.
of the perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was
And,
specifically
like,
our grandparents would be bringing, so it was a little bit more personalized.
Also, like
there.
our parents would buy our gifts in advance because it's cheaper to buy them here. So then
Yeah.
they'd buy our Christmas gifts, bring them in their suitcases down, and so Lego was an easy thing because they knew we wouldn't like grow out of that anytime soon.
Yeah. So we got. I remember when they announced the Lego Lord of the Rings, so back in like 2011 or 12 or something. And my mom actually bought all of the sets that were released. And then for the next 2 years or so, anytime someone had a birthday or Christmas, they got a Lord of the Rings Lego set.
Oh, so that's why.
Oh yeah, because you missed it. Because I saw that we had gotten all of them. That mom had gotten all of them. And now I think through you and our other sister selling them, I now have collected most of them for myself. Um,
And then when I started living alone, I started buying like the cool decorative sets.
yeah, yeah. You have the
The
Japanese
Japanese castle
castle.
one, yeah.
That one's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was fun to
it's
build, yeah. But
oh
it,
yeah.
like, I'm no longer into the creative build whatever I feel like thing. It's more fun to build to the instructions and have a decorative piece after.
Yeah, they've started doing the slightly fancier Lego sets recently. John, do you have any of those? The I think they're branded as 18 plus with the
I
box and the fancy.
I do not like. I would really want those, but see, Lego is so expensive nowadays. That's the
Yeah.
cheapest thing you'll get is now like $30 when it used to be like $10. It's so
Yeah, yeah.
it's so horrendous. Like I'll go to the store, look at the sets, and be like, oh man, oh wow, you got like the '60s Batman or some obscure thing that I loved, and it's like, oh no, it's like over $100. Are you kidding me? I can't afford that. I can't afford food. Um. Anyway, but yeah, no. I was I was so into Lego when I was younger. I would get like the Lego magazines and just check the
Oh, yeah.
catalogs of what toys they had. And of course, like the Lego website used to be really cool, so there was a lot of stuff to look there. Um,
Yeah, do you
but
remember
yeah,
playing games on the Lego website, Emma?
Wasn't there one with like a car and you could drive
Yeah.
around? That was my favorite.
Yeah, it was like a free explore little
Well,
thing
no,
with
I
a
think
car.
you had to like collect coins or something.
Oh,
But if you
okay.
didn't collect the first coin, the timer never started counting down, so you could kind of explore around.
Yeah, I remember there was like a strategy type with the Mission to Mars sets. There was a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, now it seems more focused on. It's interesting. Maybe it's just that I'm now older. I guess the Lego seemed to kind of grow up with us in a sense.
yeah, it
Like
kind of does.
previous generations stopped playing with Lego at a certain point, whereas I think now with all of these decorative sets that they've made, it's still there's still Lego stuff coming out that I'm like, oh, this is interesting to me. Um, I have a few of the decorative sets. I've gotten some for Christmas, some from Emma. Um, I just love getting a Lego set and then putting it together as I'm watching a movie or TV show or something.
Even if you have 1,000 of those 1x1
Yep.
flops done things.
Yeah,
From the Taj Mahal that Emma got me, which has a whole lot of those 1x1 little tile pieces that you have to put down.
yeah.
Like a checkerboard floor, so
Yeah. I just got one for my birthday that's an or a model for the sun and the earth and the moon and the orbits. That one's cool. I really want to, but I know it's a terrible thing to do. Is they have a Lego Twilight Cullen house.
oh, it's 200 more than $200.
Yeah, it's more than $200. But and it's kind of ugly, but it's so tempting. I hope they come out with a cheaper Twilight thing because I would buy that immediately. There's so much. It's weird looking back at it now because yeah, John, you brought up the Lego magazine, and I was actually my grandparents got me a subscription to that for a few years around the time that the Clutch Powers movie came out. Actually, maybe a few years before that to a few years after. And yeah, I would get it, and you could flip through all of the different things, basically advertisements, and then they would have a special Christmas catalog. I remember looking through that and all of the different themes, seeing all of the stuff, and I guess Star Wars was a big one, but I remember when they announced Lego Lord of the Rings, being so excited that oh, they're gonna have Lord of the Rings and Hobbit stuff, and that's so cool. Now it's they'll announce, oh yeah, they're doing a Legend of Zelda set. It's oh, that's so cool. Oh, but it's $300.
Yeah.
or the Twilight Cullen house.
Yeah.
They recently started doing Lego Animal Crossing, which I actually have all of those sets now.
Mhm.
But
Like,
those are the cheaper sets.
there are so much brands now. And
Yeah.
it's like, man, I wish we had these brands when I was a kid, but they're also so expensive, and
Yeah.
I wish that they would re-release like the discontinued sets, because sometimes the older sets you just like those designs better, and you
Yeah.
get them secondhand on eBay or Bricklinks, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah. The other set, this is even worse than the Twilight House, is the Lego Titanic set, which
Ah,
they had for a bit and then they got rid of it and now it's back and it is $679. Yeah. It is
well,
very tempting, but way out of my price range.
if
Yeah,
I
I'd
was a
rather buy PS5.
billionaire,
Yep.
if I was a
Yep.
billionaire and I had like a big mansion to like put all the Lego sets in, I could start a whole museum.
Uh, but no, it's just like this very fascinating. It's so adaptable to different things, and there are so many different ways to engage with it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was, thinking back on it, this was like the defining toy of my childhood. Just in terms of how much I engaged with it, how much we did them. Even like once we got a little older, we were doing things like we would create Lego cars
Oh, that was fun.
and then smash them into each other and see whose car withstood the damage better.
And then like we would like do stop motions with them.
Oh yeah.
I there is one infamous stop motion of yours with Romeo and Juliet that we had to do for a
Yep.
class project, and you were not
Oh,
happy
love
with
that
that
project.
product.
No.
Uh,
But yeah, we did that. There was of course the Lego video games.
yes.
Those are so fun.
Yeah, I remember Lego Star Wars being
Oh yeah, the complete saga
yeah.
was so good.
Yeah. And I've played that since they've done like I think I played it on like tablet at some point.
Yep.
And as much as like I have played some of the more recent Lego games and they just don't have that like the magic of those early Lego games.
I was so disappointed by the more recent Lego Star Wars one.
Yeah. It's not bad, but it's
I thought it.
They
yeah.
they completely
fun.
overhauled like how you play the game and
Yeah.
such, and so it's just doesn't have a lot of replayability as the older games.
yeah. Yeah, I think something changed when they started bringing in lines from the actual movies
Hmm.
instead of just the grunting noises.
Yeah. Because that led to a lot
Yeah.
of funny comedic moments that you don't get as much of when you have lines.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of creative visuals and visual storytelling with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
dialogue. I mean, the dialogue can still be fun, but it's not.
Yeah. I actually, there's often like an extra you can get to turn off the lines and actually go back to
But that,
just the
that
grunting.
doesn't make
But
it good.
yeah, no, it's the problem is still that it's like the cutscenes are a bit too long and too belabored.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I'll occasionally go back. I recently played a lot of Lego Lord of the Rings, which that one was one of my favorites just because it was a semi-open world
Yeah.
that you could kind of walk around Middle Earth. Yeah, no, it's just this fascinating brand that continues to do well. Apparently, I don't
Yeah.
know what their financials look like, but it seems like they're doing pretty well.
From what we like can see from all the stuff on the shelf,
Yeah,
even though it does also look like there's just a lot of leftovers. I don't know.
What you aren't rushing out to the store to buy the Lego sets for Disney's Wish?
Oh my goodness.
Nope.
Yeah, some of those brand partnerships do really well for them, and some of them don't really go anywhere. But I guess that's true for most toy storylines or
Mm-hmm.
toy tie-ins. But yeah, Clutch Powers, the topic ostensibly at hand. This was released February 23, 2010, directed by Howard E. Baker, who we previously talked about. He worked on some of the Lego Hero Factory episodes. Written by Tim Rogers, who is a writer on Cinderella 2, Kronk's New Groove, and Tinkerbell and the Legend of the Never Beast. Someone who's
Yeah.
sort of in the Disney sequel side of things. Story
Yeah.
by Joshua Wexler, who is mainly a producer, and he worked on Ice Age Sid's Arctic Adventure, which is a short. We didn't talk about that with our Ice Age movies, but thought that was worth bringing up. And then also was a producer on Bionicle, Mask of Life, and many of the other Lego shorts. And yeah, we have music by David and Eric Wurst, who we talked about. They did some music for the Hero Factory episodes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's get into our little story here. So, yeah. So, after deceiving a distress signal from the space prison holding the universe's three most dangerous villains, a group of four heroes led by the legendary adventurer Clutch Powers is formed to investigate. They arrive at the space prison and are ambushed by the villains who use the team's spaceship to escape. Clutch is able to assemble his own ship, and the team follow one of the villains, the wizard Malok, to a medieval themed planet named Ashlar. Malok plans to raise a skeleton army to take over Ashlar. Clutch meets with Prince Varen, the leader of Ashlar, who is insecure in his own abilities and hesitant to help. Clutch leaves to stop Malok on his own, but Varen has an off-screen change of heart. Together with the rest of the team and Varen's army, they attack Malok's keep, but are forced to retreat. So Clutch and Varen get captured, the heroes regroup and launch a second assault. Clutch and Varen escape, and Varen uses a magic sword to defeat Malok. And Varen declares himself king, and everyone celebrates. Clutch and his team have to go find the next escape villain, and then we never see what happens.
They didn't get a sequel.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. I don't know when I first saw this, but I did see this around the time it came out. I wouldn't be surprised if we got the DVD shortly after it was released. Emma
barely
doesn't.
remember.
Emma barely remembers it. I actually remember pretty much all of it, like not beat for beat, but sitting down to watch it, I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember this scene and that scene and the other scene and those characters." There is a notable exception which we'll talk about later. But yeah, John, had you seen this before?
I've never seen this film. I had seen the trailer because it was on DVDs. I had seen the trailer when I was going through DVDs so many times. I had like whiplash when I was watching this. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this line of dialogue and this line of dialogue. Clutch Powers. Just different people saying Clutch Powers was like the theme of the trailer for some reason. Never saw it. And then here we are today with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was reminded a lot of Lego Hero Factory as I was watching this.
Mm.
In terms of like, we have all of these various different locations, but it's also like spending way too much time in some of those locations.
Yeah.
We have the like central, it even looks like the Hero Factory, the Lego building here, where they're operating out of.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I can tell that there's at least some crossover with the creative team, at least in the way that they're doing the storytelling. I wonder if that's just like this feels like pre-Lego movie, where Lego isn't nearly as associated with branded IP, where it's just like, oh, here's Lego, and then sometimes they have a Star Wars set or something like that. I guess this is kind of the very end of that, because we're already seeing like the video games and stuff bring Lego and different brands closer together, but it still does feel like there's a bit of separation. So the big thing with Lego at this time is the different sort of genres. So you have the big ones are like the fantasy medieval stuff, the space stuff, and the city stuff. And so this movie has all three of those kind of.
They also like a nod to their more recent like gem mining one that they had at the beginning.
Yeah, and the spacesuits they wear are from the Mission to Mars.
Yeah.
Or Mars Mission. I guess Mission to Mars is the Brian De Palma film. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
yeah it's. I almost wonder if, I don't know if we ever see like who the other villains are, but I have to imagine that one of them is more of like a space themed villain and the other is more of like a city themed villain, and that if there had been more movies they would have focused then on different locations.
I was so confused when we were getting towards the end of end of the film, whereas like we're defeating the wizard. I'm like, I remember there being like two other villains that we were supposed to capture. Like we never saw who they were. Like were they the skeletons? Which they weren't. um, but yeah, it really felt like that they were planning to do like a bigger story, and then they were told they didn't have the time to do it. So it's like, okay, forget the other villains, forget the Omega symbol, forget like finding the father. We're just gonna stick on the medieval planet and finish that story. And that was just kind of boring because like we were like going place to place and I was like, oh man, I like going place to place and seeing the different Lego sets. But then we stuck with medieval. I'm like, oh man, why do they always have to stop at medieval? There's more stuff to do.
I imagine that they were planning on doing sequels.
Yeah, that's my thought too.
And this was around the time that the first Lego movie was going to be like starting seriously becoming an idea that Lego and Warner Brothers were going to be pursuing. So I imagine that this was initially started. I believe 2008 was the first time that Warner Brothers approached Lego with like, "Hey, want to do a Lego movie?" And Lego was like, "Absolutely not." So I imagine they're doing this as like, "Hey, let's make our own little thing." And then by the time this comes out, or maybe even a year or two after this comes out, it's like, no, they're going full steam ahead with the Lego movie. So doing another Clutch Powers is not a priority in any way, shape, or form.
It's also like Lego had released a bunch of like 20-minute shorts and specials on their previous Lego sets, and maybe their thought process was like, okay, we've done like a bunch of like these short specials, why don't we do like a full-fledged film for Lego? And so they went with this direction, and then probably like you said, the studio came in and it's like, hey, big money, do a big thing, make it look good, and then we got our thing.
Yeah, not only that, but like there is a specific shift after the Lego movie away from original Lego brands to the IP branded stuff. Now all of the shorts that they make, I guess they have like Lego Friends stuff and they'll occasionally do things for their own brands. But a lot of the shorts that they're making now are the Star Wars or Marvel or other branded themed things.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is kind of a remnant of this era of Lego pre the bigger IPs sort of taking over in the wake of the Lego movie. And I think like the Lego Batman movie is maybe the biggest point of that shift, where it's like we're making a Lego movie, but at this point we're not even pretending that it is a Lego movie. This is a Lego Batman movie. I guess you have Ninjago in there as well, but
we'll get to that.
It feels like there's been a shift in priorities. But yeah, this movie itself is just very generic.
Yeah.
Like every scene plays out the way that you expect it to, with the exception of maybe one scene. Every character beat, every character arc. Yeah, it's just kind of whatever. I don't know. It's hard to talk about this knowing that like 4 years later you get the Lego movie, which feels so much more special and feels like it's actually doing something with Lego on like even a thematic level. Like this one, you have they have to work as a team. They're building like Lego.
Yeah.
But that it doesn't feel like a theme the way it feels like a theme for the Lego movie.
Yeah, building is just a thing that happens. It's not central to anything.
Yeah, it's just like here's a bunch of characters. The arcs are there and they don't line up.
They're planning on going to a prison planet with absolutely no life on it except the prisoners and guards, and they choose to hire a biologist to go along with them.
Yes. As I was pointing out, that's one of the jobs that girls are allowed to have, which is why she's a biologist. She can't be an engineer, or she can't be I guess maybe she could get away with being an astronaut. Maybe.
But I think space travel is so, like,
normalized.
normalized that they don't have specific astronauts.
Yeah. No, yeah, they got to get the biologist to go along on this mission. Yeah.
She comes in clutch on the medieval planet, but how did they even know they were going there in the first place?
Yeah.
She has
Yeah,
hair.
it's just like that is true. Yeah, it's like there are all of these different characters and their arcs just don't quite line up. Like the team needs to learn to work together, but Clutch spends most of the movie like on his own or with Prince Varen. Like he's not interacting with the team that much after they reach the medieval planet. And then like Clutch needs to get over the disappearance of his father, which is a mirror to Varen's arc, but is also left a little unresolved because they're like, oh, we'll deal with that in the sequel. Varen's big change of heart happens entirely off screen.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, no. And then Clutch goes, okay, walk away. Next scene, I changed my mind.
And all my army now respects me and is following me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't quite work. It has ideas, but the ideas are kind of boring. And it's like clearly setting up for a sequel that is never going to happen. And I can't say I'm too broken up about that. Like, even as someone who was a kid and who enjoyed watching this movie, I don't remember ever being that excited for a sequel. And it just never happened. And I have no feeling about that.
Yeah, I wasn't on the edge of my seat while watching this. It was just kind of chill, waiting for stuff to happen, being like, yep, there's that stuff. That's old Lego. Yep, I remember that type of storytelling. Yep.
It
right,
feels
well, that's
so
the end.
long. As you were saying, like they spend so much time on the medieval planet.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I don't know if there's a better version of this movie, but that decision is one that drags it down a little bit.
Mm-hmm. The credits, like, they have like pirates and stuff, and I'm like, oh, where was the pirate planet? I wish we could have gone there
the
for a bit.
Yeah. Maybe that was one of the escaped villains.
I don't know. Right now, my headcanon is just like those other cloaked figures were just the two skeleton people.
The three most dangerous villains in the galaxy. A kind of scary wizard and his two bumbling skeletons.
Yeah.
The skeletons were like one of the only things I remembered from when I watched it as a kid.
Also, we have Darkseid with his Omega symbol, so I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I gave the story a 2 out of 5.
So did I.
I gave it a 3. I felt like it was an average. I felt like 3 is an average.
Yeah, on to characters. We have Clutch Powers.
Clutch Powers.
He's Indiana Jones meets Han Solo meets Ethan Hunt, but so much less interesting than that should be.
Yeah.
Like, he's just kind of generic cool guy character, but not like, I don't know. He doesn't read as cool, even though that's what the movie's trying to sell.
Well, one of the first things the movie shows you is him acting cool, like, no, I work alone, and then he like falls over and like he messes up right away, basically.
Yeah.
So it would have been fun if they leaned into that more. Maybe like he's put us on airs and stuff, but really isn't that good.
Yeah, do like a, or I guess that's not the Buck Wild thing, because the Buck Wild thing is that Buck puts on airs of being good, and he is actually good, but he's not good in the way he thinks he's good. He's good in the way that like he messes up, but he knows how to deal with things once he's messed up. No, Clutch is just like, yeah, he's just Ethan Hunt, but more boring than Ethan Hunt is, and Ethan Hunt is already kind of boring. Like, this is a complete tangent, but when you're watching the Mission Impossible movies, you aren't going like, oh, this Ethan Hunt guy, he's so interesting, I wonder what's up with him. You're like, what is Tom Cruise going to do the next big stunt?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that his arc and Varen's arc mirror each other, but it's just like a boring arc.
Like, and neither of them really get resolved. Like, neither of them find their father, or
Yeah. I mean the thing is that they don't need to find their father anymore. But like Clutch is they're setting something
No,
up
Clutch
with his
is still
character.
looking for his
Yeah,
father.
yeah.
Because at the end he's like, oh, at least I know he's still alive. So we know
Yeah.
he's still looking for his dad.
How do we know that he's still alive?
The bad guy showed the magic ball and said that he was alive, but we can definitely trust the bad guy.
He's like the leader of this team and supposedly the one who is like supposed to be bringing them all together, but he's also like he spent so much of the movie running off and doing his own thing that we don't really get a sense for him as part of the team.
Yeah.
Like he feels very removed from it. It's like, and maybe it's just because it's the title of the movie, but it's like those bands where it's like so and so and the so and so's. I'm trying to think of an example.
Josie and the Pussycats.
Yes, where it's like, oh, so clearly like Josie is the one we're supposed to be paying attention to, and the Pussycats are like in the background. That's kind of how their dynamic feels. And like having seen the Josie and the Pussycats movie, that's not the dynamic of the band at all. But just like when you hear the title, that's what you think. Is like, oh, there's like one important person and the other people are a bit superfluous.
Barbie and the Rockers.
Yes. Okay, that's probably an even better example.
Gem and the Holograms. Yeah. Yep.
Which I don't know much about Gem and the Holograms. But yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. He's whatever. Brick, he's the dumb manly one.
Yeah.
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 Bernie, he's the awkward nerdy one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's the one of the like four who actually does kind of want to be on a team. That's all I have to say on that because it doesn't really manifest
Pretty
in
much.
any interesting way.
Yeah.
His romance with Peg isn't the worst thing I have ever seen.
And actually, at the start of the movie, I was thinking that it would be Peg and Clutch, so it was kind of interesting that she actually ended up with Bernie.
Yeah.
They have no screen time together, so.
No. And then Peg. She's the girl one. That's like most of her characterization ends up being she's the girl one.
Yeah.
She is like also the most competent of the people besides Clutch. Like she actually knows what she's doing and can take leadership a little bit.
And she brings in a dragon.
Yeah. I was just thinking, what this is missing?
Another character.
Yes.
Oh, really?
They're missing the 5-man band is this trope that exists, started with Journey to the West, the Chinese epic. Are you familiar with this at all, John? The 5-man band?
Vaguely.
So yeah, it's you have the protagonist character, the sort of central character, so that would be Clutch. Then you have the trio of sort of supporting characters who are the tough guy, so obviously Brick, the smart guy, Bernie, and the heart, or the girl one, so that's Peg. But then the fifth one is the foil. So that is the person with which the leader has like a little bit of tension, like friendly tension. So like doing the Bionicle ones tend to adhere somewhat to the 5-man band tropes, even though those have 6. So you have like the red one and the second, I don't remember any of these things. The red one and the green one in the prequels.
Yeah.
The red one is the leader, and then the green one is like the foil, who is
Vakama Matao.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was just about to say. Good job making me look like I don't know what I'm talking about, John.
Hey, that's what I'm here for. I come in with the random bits of information. You continue talking. I sit there and listen. We're a good foil.
Yes. But no, you need that like tension there to make the group dynamics a little bit more interesting.
They could have made the prince that kind of character, except he was too similar to Clutch to be
Yeah. And I mean, there's a bit of tension between Clutch and Brick, but that's more between Brick and Bernie that it ends up happening there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. That might be a fix. I do think what's interesting, because the reason Bionicle has 6 characters, and we've talked about this before, the reason that all of these franchises have 5 or 6 protagonist type characters is so that they can sell more toys. There are no Clutch Powers Lego sets. There is a minifigure that was included in a different set, but there aren't any sets from this movie. Now there are, the movie itself is like pulling elements from pre-existing sets, but there wasn't like a Clutch Powers line, which is very odd for something that we've talked about on this podcast. It's very rare that we have come across something that is so clearly made as like an advertisement for toys, and yet you could not go out to the store and buy the Clutch Powers movie toys. Like, obviously, you can get Lego, but yeah. So maybe that's why they only have 4. I guess there are more protagonists here, but the main group is only 4 characters.
I mean, their main goal was just like to get people to buy their other Lego sets. So.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
That's the... But yeah, the main band, there isn't much. I mean, there's not much interesting going on with the characters. Varen, he's sort of the most important of the supporting characters. This is the thing where I remember pretty much everything about this movie. I completely forgot that this character existed. Like, entirely. Like, they're saying, oh yeah, we need to go and talk to the king's son, the prince. And I was like, what? No, that doesn't happen in this movie. There's no king's son. They like go and fight the wizard. But no, there's like this whole subplot about this guy who is the most generic, boring prince arc you could ever imagine.
It's like almost every prince arc you can imagine. Yeah.
No, I remember details of like Clutch being stuck in the cage. I forgot that he was stuck in the cage along with a random guy.
Yeah, I think him and Clutch are just too similar.
Yeah, at least their arcs are very similar. Yeah. I think their demeanors are very different. But yeah, Varen has like the prince from Shrek the Third arc.
Yeah.
Or I guess that's King Arthur. I don't remember. That was I have rants about that movie that we don't.
Yeah, but here we're doing Shrek. Speaking of trolls, I guess.
Oh yeah, Hogar the troll. I like his character subversion. I think that was a fun moment, and maybe the only scene in the movie that did not play out exactly as I would have imagined, given how the scene started.
Sure, yeah.
I like he is an interesting subversion of the trope of the troll. I think he has a cool design, which is obviously like a pre-existing Lego design.
Yeah,
but I like that little moment. I will say his like 3 tests are leave a lot to be desired. My favorite one is his riddle, which the answer is Clutch Powers' dad. Like, does he ask this of everyone? Is everyone just supposed to know that the answer?
How does the troll know this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting a thing where it's like, oh, Clutch, I met your dad. That's why I recognized your name. But no, everybody knows who Clutch Powers is, even in space.
Just this random guy's dad. That's the answer to this riddle. You guessed the wind. Sorry, no, it's Clutch Powers' dad.
That riddle doesn't even make sense.
No.
It's like, oh, you got your face that you can't see. Well, it's like, what? Clutch Powers' dad? If he's in front of me, then I can see his face. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was expecting the troll to be like, no, that's not the answer to the riddle.
Maybe it wasn't. The troll was like, I'll give him a break. He built like a nice bridge for me.
Yeah. So... Paywell is here. I guess that's a reference to like Moneypenny or something. Paywell.
Well, it sounds like his employees at least get paid well.
Or he does.
Well, it's hard to say.
yeah,
Because it's not paid well. It's pay
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So he's doing the paying.
That's
I guess.
Honestly, I don't remember who that character is.
that's the M.
The leader of the organization. The guy who...
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would not know
Charlie.
if Jay's notes didn't say that.
Yes. I guess.
the guy who is
Very
calling
generic.
in and saying, "Hey, here's where you go next." They're like, "Okay,
Man
we're going
is-
there next."
A man is drowning in
Well, just
Lego
like, no, I'm
City.
not part of the team.
Yeah, Lego Hero Factory. This all goes back to Lego, which is weird that Lego Hero Factory came out before this, but there's so many parallels. Anyway, Malik, he's the bad guy. He
Malak.
does bad guy stuff.
Yes.
Yep. Breaks out of prison, does bad guy stuff.
Skelly and Bones.
Those were the only characters basically that I remembered.
They got a couple chuckles out of me.
They're the comedic duo, but I thought they were kind of fun.
I thought they had too much screen time.
I think
Yeah,
that
and
is
that-
probably
Not that I disliked them, but like we were spending way too much time on them
yeah.
in moments that we probably shouldn't have been spending too much time on.
I think if you cut down other stuff in the movie, then it just had their scene still there. Yeah. But yeah, the characters, there's not much to say. I gave them a 2 out of 5.
Me too.
I gave them a 3. I just figured 3 is my average number, so.
On to the visuals.
Visuals.
This is the pre-Lego movie style of visuals, the stuff that you would see in the animations or
Yep.
the video games.
Yep.
I think like it reminded me a lot of the Bionicle stuff in terms of like everything kind of looks plastic but isn't moving like plastic.
Well, except this actually had some like metal and stone
Yeah,
bricks.
yeah. And Bionicle has some more textury type stuff. But it is interesting just looking at this and then comparing it to the Lego movie, what the Lego movie got right, which now 10 years later doesn't feel so revolutionary, but at the time it was, is what if the Legos moved like actual Lego pieces move?
Like stop motion.
With like a little, with a little allowance for movement that wouldn't be possible with actual Legos, but mainly just doing it as if it was stop motion, as you were saying.
Yeah, except that's only through the big feature films. Everything else produced by Lego, the Legos are flexible still, even now.
Yeah, it's something that has only really been in the, and yeah, it's such a good style that I kind of wish they would carry it through everything. It must be difficult to do.
I'm fine with the flexible style.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I
I
find
think
flexible
like I do like the stop motion stuff, but that gets very limiting very quick.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
I remember being super impressed with the Lego movie and really liking how the animation was and how like everything was Lego, even the backgrounds and stuff. But watching
Yeah.
Clutch Powers, I'm like, oh yeah, this world still makes sense.
Yeah. It really depends on like what we're going for. For something like lower budget like this, I think this style is fine for like vague promotional stuff. But if you're doing like the big theatrical stuff, then yeah, the big stop motion stuff that looks realistic is probably the way to go.
I did think it was kind of funny how like throughout the movie, like characters got some arms popped off or like their legs separated, and that was just like, oh yeah, that's just a normal part of that just happens. They're fine.
But they have souls that they can be destroyed. So
yeah, their creation spark or whatever.
yes,
Yeah.
they're Transformers. Oh, spark.
Indeed. Yeah. I don't care for this kind of animation, but I understand that it's like a limitation of budget. I think the thing that bothers me more is the non-Lego textures, like how the backgrounds and stuff. That maybe takes me out of it even more than the way the plastic is moving.
It doesn't bother me too much, but yeah, it is. You could tell that it's not like the best visuals. It's serviceable
Yeah.
for straight to DVD or something like that. Yeah. Space.
Oh yeah, I do like the space. The space stuff is. I like the backgrounds. I like planets and stuff, and stars. But yeah, that's nothing to write home about.
Mhm.
I do think like a lot of the designs and that they're using pre-existing Lego designs and stuff that is recognizable. That's a cool decision.
Yeah.
I give the visuals a 2.5.
So did I.
I gave it 3.
Being a little bit more generous than us there.
Yeah.
All of them so far I have been.
Yeah, on to the performances. I don't really have anyone to shout out here. I think everyone's doing like the job they need to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really care much for Clutch's performer.
Okay.
I looked him up. This is his only like voiceover role for like a kids
Oh.
thing, so it's
Huh.
interesting casting. But like a thing for me to point out, Jeff Bennett, who is a very prolific voice actor here, he does a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of work. A lot of work. There are like whole films where it's just him,
Yes.
which is Lady and the Tramp 2. It's pretty much just him, which you know, he does a lot of good work. And he's here.
I recognize him as the voice of Perry the Platypus.
That's Steve Bradley Baker.
Oh, I got that mixed up then. Whoops. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah. Everyone else
I
did
think
their
the
job.
performance is a 3 out of 5. There wasn't really anything to write home about, but no one was doing a bad job.
So did I. 3.
So did I.
Yeah, finally music. The music was fine. I
there?
will point out Emma was singing the theme song during the credits.
It was catchy, but now I can't remember it.
Me neither. So it was listenable and enjoyable in the moment, but yeah, again, nothing I'm going to be looking up after the fact and listening to. So I gave it a 3 out of 5.
I also gave it a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
Yeah, leaves me with a 12.5 out of 25, which is a 50% or a 2.5 out of 5 stars.
And I have those exact same scores, yes.
Man, I should have gone slower on some of these. I have a 15, which is a 60% or 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the best, but I'm glad to finally just have it checked off of my list of things that I don't have to see again.
Yeah, I'm glad you feel that way, because I was kind of worried as I was watching this of, oh, is John gonna hate me for making him watch this one?
No, I've always had like the vague memories of like Clutch powers, of course on the trailer, and so it's always been something where it's like, okay, at some point I probably want to go back and finally see what that whole thing was all about, and now I have, and I'm not disappointed, but like I'm not the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was I am glad to have revisited it, but yeah, I'm glad to be moving on to hopefully better Lego movies in our discussion.
Sure. Yeah. At least like more budget and stuff to
Yeah.
gravitates towards than just generic.
Yeah. The visuals at the very least will be enjoyable.
Yeah.
I am curious, and this is a tangent, but it is relevant to next week's episode. I am curious to see how I feel about the Lego movie 10 years later, post Ready Player One and Space Jam, whatever the Space Jam sequel is called, and all of those movies that have kind of taken a similar thing. I'm wondering if watching the Lego movie will be like, oh, this is a better version of all of those, or oh, I only really liked this because this was the first time I had seen it. And now that I have seen it over and over again, it doesn't hold up.
I guess we shall see.
Yeah. Yeah. Hook for next episode.
Oh ho ho. Well, in that case, thank you everyone for listening, and make sure to follow us on social media. We're Binging Barbie Podcast on Instagram and Tumblr, Binging Barbie on Blue Sky and Serialized, and Binging Barbie at Barbie Movie Podcast on Letterboxd. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you leave a 5-star review and go to our Patreon at patreon.com/Binging Barbie Podcast. And we'll be back next week to talk about the Lego Movie. Yay! And until then, remember to bring extra hair. Yes. I'm
Bye,
talking
Barbie.
to you. Bye, Barbie. Clutch
Bye.
powers.